Alright, if you like my channel, subscribe. I try to help people fix stuff or learn stuff. So I got a Bose and I think I got a Kenwood radio. So I'm not going to go through every wire and show you how to run it. But what you have is, like, when wiring a radio to an amp, here's the back of the radio. Okay? So you got different wires back here and different things, remote or mute, remote connection, antenna continuous or connection, whatever it means. Then you got like 8 wires for your speakers. So we're wanting the amp to work, so we're not going to use them speaker wires. I just put them all together, taped them up, the ends are all covered. So now what happens is we use the RCA jack, which is one of these with the red and the white. Buy the red and the white ones. It makes life easier for everybody. So this is what's going to go from the radio to the amp. That's the sound coming from, the music coming from the radio is going to go into the amp and then to your speaker wires. So on the back of your radio, I can get it in there a little bit, you can see the jacks coming out. You got a rear, you got a front, and then it depends on if you're doing separate and putting in subwoofers and all that crap, then that's where you want to use the rears in the front and make everything separate. And then I think on the very bottom there's another jack for like auxiliary stuff in or whatever. So since we're just doing 4 speakers on the bike, it's a Harley 89 Electric Glide Ultra Classic. So anyways, the biggest thing is to find these wires. You got there's 2 types of wires you're looking for, or 2 on the amp and on the radio. You'll have a wire that says like battery power. So that's got to have like live power. That's like your memory, I believe, on your radio. So your presets are all saved always. And then there's also another wire which is wired into your ignition. I can't remember, either yellow was I think yellow was the battery and red was the ignition. When you get your book for your amp and your, sorry about that, I'm trying to find my book. I'll show you the page I'm looking at. This is the kind of diagram you get. So biggest ones you want to look for is like this one here, red ignition. So this is coming out of the back of the radio. The amp says the same thing. So you wire them 2 wires together and then find the ignition wire. The best way to do it is with a 12-volt battery tester. You know, get a ground with the one side and then touch what you think it is, and then turn the key on and see if you got ignition power, and then turn the key off if the light goes out and on when you do it with the key on and off. Then that's your ignition. The battery one, that should be hot all the time. Then you got a ground, you got to hook them up. So anyways, so the RCA jacks come out and they connect it into the amp. Has an RCA jack, so you put those in, line in, and then you got a line out. So we're coming from the radio in to the amp. So now on the amp, so here's your red for your battery, and then yellow for your ignition, hot. Then you got a black for a ground. Then the blue is a remote. I'm sorry, I don't know what remote is. Then there was another wire, because this has a remote control thing up on well, it's got this. So, and blue is off. Red, you got to push the left button on the left, the power button, the SRC button. And once it goes to red, and then you'll get sound through it, because we were screwed with that for a while, trying to figure out why we didn't have no sound coming out of our speakers, because that didn't go to red. So on this system, there's a black wire that goes to the remote, and this here, the orange one is illumination, makes that up there glow blue, red, whatever. So, but on the amp, we're using these 8 wires over here, and you read on it in the amp book, and it'll tell you left, rear, or front, right, left, whatever. So, I mean, if you're gonna balance it or try to do subwoofers in the back, that you gotta have all that. So that's the biggest thing when hooking up an amp, is just we're not using the speaker wire coming out of the back of the radio. We're going to use the speaker wires coming out of the amp, because we want the sound to go into the amp and then out to our speakers. So that way when you turn the key on, see how that lights up red? So that's
captured second place.
the biggest thing.
Craig Monroe and Paul Millsap stopped Miami's.
Blue is off. Red is on.
Who will make it to the Big 3 Championship? This no-holds-barred action starts.
If you can't, I mean, I'm just giving you a thing, the basics of what to look for. If you need more help than that, you probably shouldn't be wiring it. It's not really hard. If you know anything about wiring, on how to do grounding with a test light, and finding your powers and your ignition power, you'll be fine. Just make sure all your grounds are hooked up. Run through every wire on here. You know, I took these 8 and put them off to the side, taped them up so they're out of my way, so I didn't have to deal with those. Then you just read the book and see what they go to, you know. But the 8 out of the 8 speaker wires coming out of the back of the radio, we're not using. So hope this kind of helps you a little bit. That's all I make videos for, is to help people. So any of you people that want to leave nasty comments about how you didn't do something, go for it. I'll look to see how many videos you got made. So have a good day, guys. Hope this helps you.